Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Rog here, and today we're in for a very special treat because just look at this wonderful chocolate log sponge, just in time for Christmas. Do you want a slice? Let me show you how to make it. It's not difficult, and it really is so moist, so sweet and so tasty. It really is one to enjoy. For our chocolate log sponge, we're going to need 4 large eggs, 1.5 ounces of cocoa powder, 3.5 ounces of caster sugar, and 2.5 ounces of self-raising flour. And for the filling, we're going to need some chocolate, 2 tablespoons full of cocoa powder, 2 ounces of butter, and 4 ounces of icing sugar. Into a very large bowl we go with our caster sugar, and we follow this in with our eggs, whole eggs. Then we're going to mix this together using an electric hand whisk. Bring this all together until it's turned a real pale colour and goes light and fluffy. This is light and fluffy when it looks like this. Brilliant. Then we can sift in our cocoa powder. This will remove any little lumps that you might have in there. Give that a good old sift. Follow this with our self-raising flour. If you haven't got self-raising, just use an all-purpose flour. And we're going to carefully fold this in using a spatula. We don't want to mix it too much. We want to keep all the air in there so we get a really nice, moist, fluffy sponge. Then we turn the mixture out into a suitable baking tray, carefully lined with baking paper. And of course we want to make sure it's tucked into all those little corners and try and get it as level as possible. Bit tricky, but it will level itself up when it goes into the oven. And off to the oven it goes. Gas mark 6 for about 10 to 15 minutes until the sponge is nicely cooked. Then while still warm, we can turn this out onto some baking paper that's been dusted over with icing sugar, and with a very sharp knife cut a couple of little slices about 1 inch in from one of the ends. This is going to help you when you first start to roll it up. Then you roll it up, being as careful as you can. Now obviously you're going to get a few little cracks, but not to worry too much guys. I mean, after all, it's a log, isn't it? And off we go, slowly and carefully as possible. Leave the paper on there. You've got to bear in mind it's still a little bit warm and a little bit soft. So we're going to roll it up. This is basically going to make the shape that you want. Put that to one side and let that cool. While that's cooling, we're going to mix our butter icing. There's the butter, there's the icing sugar. Taking our large bowl again, in with the icing sugar, in with the butter, and we're going to bring this together. First we're going to be using a fork. Carefully does it, gradually bring it in from the sides. Then we can finish it off using our electric hand whisk. We want to whisk this all up until it's really nice and tasty and creamy and delicious and golden, and what more can I say? That hand whisk does a brilliant job, and when it's all finished, this is what you've got. Thick and creamy, lovely. Now we unroll our base that we've got there. Carefully does it. It's a little bit cracked, but we're not going to worry too much guys, because we're now going to cover this over with our little icing filling. Spread this all over, getting it as close to the edges as possible and fill in all those little cracks that you can see. Now we take the remaining filling mixture. Into this we're going to grate quite a hefty amount of chocolate, Lovely, beautiful, fresh chocolate. And we're going to make this a really dark colour. As dark as possible anyway. And I'm going to be doing this by adding some more cocoa powder. Just about 1 tablespoon should do. If that's not dark enough, chuck in another one. But you might have to add a little bit of butter to compensate for it. Now I'm going to cut this end bit off, because I'm going to need a little bit to sculpture a little twig coming out of the log later. So now we're going to coat it with our lovely buttercream coating that we've got there. I'm going to use a fork to try and simulate wood grain, and there's the odd bit. I'm going to pop that on there, join that in. Oh look, it's pretty nifty, isn't it? Should take up sculpturing. Forget the cooking. I'll sculpture something like this. Now I'm going to add a little bit more chocolate, grated over the top, grated over the surface of our little display we've got there. And of course, we've got to finish it off with some snow, haven't we? I mean, after all, you know, Christmas log, snow, all goes together, doesn't it? A little bit of snow, a little bit of snow on the ground. And of course, mustn't forget some holly. Now that looks good, doesn't it? Well, that's it guys. Time for a taste test. I can't wait for this one, I'm telling you. Now just look at the inside. Crikey, I'll have to go for a run after this. That's bound to put some weight on. Oh wow, I'm telling you guys, so moist, so sweet, so tasty, so all round delicious. Please try this recipe yourself, I'm sure you will love it. Thanks for watching this latest video, and yeah, I'll be seeing you very soon in the next one. Bye for now. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Just hit that button down there, ding the bell for notifications. I've got hundreds of recipes. I'm sure there's one there that you would love.